Creating your Collagraph rubbings. What you'll need to get out is your Collagraph plate that you created yesterday and a piece of paper from your sketchbook, along with your crayons. I'm going to peel back some of the paper on my crayons because I want to hold the crayon flat or to the surface or parallel, and I'm going to rub the crayon over top of my textures going in several different directions. You'll notice that one hand is holding the paper down so that it doesn't shift. Your hands are going to get quite a workout doing this. Make sure that your non-dominant hand is really holding that paper down. Once you're finished rubbing your Collagraph, I'm going to take a marker and just trace around the outside edges because I'm planning to cut this brick out. This will help me remember where to cut. I'm going to make sure my thumb is in the little hole and 2 fingers are in the big hole. Remember, you can do a sloppy cut and go around the whole image first if that's a little easier for you. You'll notice my non-dominant hand is really moving around a lot to help my cutting hand get around some of those smaller spaces. When you're cutting on an interior area, you can pinch the paper, cut a little bit, and then slide your scissors inside to get into those areas. If you're a first grader, you only need to do 1 Collagraph rubbing. If you're a second grader, you need to do 2, and third graders can do 3. You are always welcome to do more if you would like to do more. But again, first graders only need to do 1, second graders only need to do 2, and third graders can do 3 if they would like. Now what I'm doing is on one of my large drawing papers, I am laying my robots down to decide what composition I want to do. Do I want to have my robots straight up and down? I want to put them at a diagonal composition to help make it look like they are moving. And I made one of my robots kind of come off the page a little bit, so I cut their legs and then added them to the top so it looked like I had another robot kind of jumping off the paper. Before I glue, I want to make sure that I trace around my robots so that I don't end up with glue on areas that I don't want. Just like when I was doing the rubbing, I want to have one hand holding my paper down while the other hand traces around the outside edges. As I'm tracing, I'm taking my robots off. That way they're not in the way or shifting around as I'm finishing up my tracing. Now I'm going to open my glue, pick off any boogers that might be there, and I'm going to add just a tiny little bit of glue close to the outside edge of my pencil, but not directly on it. Then I'm going to gently lay my robot in place using the lines that I made as a guide. Again, notice I'm really not using that much glue. And if you put it inside your pencil lines a little bit instead of on the pencil line, that will help you keep from getting glue in areas that you don't necessarily want. When I'm all finished gluing, I'll close up my lid, put it back in my art kit, and I'll give everything a nice little pat to make sure it's stuck down all the way. I trimmed off any pieces that were hanging off the edge. That's a choice. You don't have to necessarily do that. So here's how I created my Collagraph robot composition. Feel free to play around, do additional rubbings, and see how your Collagraph plate turns out.